Hey everyone, Till Collect Jurassic. We're here with a Hammond collection unboxing from Mattel's Jurassic World collector line. These are the super articulated figures, super detailed that they come out just for 2022 in conjunction with Dominion. And of course, they'll be doing even more next year. They've already come out with so many this year. If you've been tuning into the channel, you've seen me review the first wave, obviously Triceratops, T-Rex, all that good stuff. And now we have Ceratosaurus, part of wave 2, part of the medium range figures. What's really interesting about this one is this is actually a figure we can compare almost one-to-one directly with a general Mattel release too, which I'll get to later. But for now, I just want to focus on the figure itself, Ceratosaurus. Here it is in box. Just got this one from Target actually, and this is going to be the Jurassic Park 3 Ceratosaurus, our first Jurassic Park 3 figure for Hammond collection. They even got the little Spinosaurus logo down here too to prove it. So that's Ceratosaurus, also featured in Camp Cretaceous a lot, and then I know it's been in like the Jurassic World Evolution video game and stuff like that, but this figure is pretty cool because it is based on that Jurassic Park 3 version. So the box is similar to the other Hammond collection boxes with the logos and embossed T-Rex. That looks really nice on the front and the top, and on the back we have the little render of Ceratosaurus as well as the bio. An unfortunate stench left by the Spinosaurus turns out to be quite fortunate for Dr. Alan Grant and others when they come face to face with the Ceratosaurus on Isla Sorna. So a little allusion there to the Jurassic Park 3 scene where it comes and sniffs them and then like goes away because they've been digging in Spinosaur poop. So nice little close-up of the movie Ceratosaurus there. So sets us up to kind of look at this figure in the framing of its appearance in Jurassic Park 3. So let's go ahead and get it out. See what this thing is all about. So pops out there in the box. You can see the tail is already not attached yet. There's the tail. Cool stripes. Love the paint on the tail that these premium figures get. Looks like it's held in by really just one piece of plastic. Hopefully, oh no, there's got some on its feet. So just give me a second. Let me cut this stuff out so that we can pop this figure out without too much more of a headache. Ugh, this stuff is just, these plastic ties are just no fun to pop out. I'm always worried I'm gonna like cut the figure with my little blade. So the whole thing should just pop out pretty easily there. He's already trying to get into a cool dynamic pose. I love to see it. And then his tail should just pop on like that. Yeah, so there's the tail pops on, and that's Ceratosaurus. Let's go ahead and get him in a pose, and I can kind of talk you through articulation. Like all Hammond collection figures, he's loaded with it, and I feel like he's even got extra joints on his feet that I feel like some of the, and yeah, he's got like two ankle joints, which is really cool, and they're pretty stiff, which I like. Lets you do some great poses without worrying about him falling over. Get his ankles popular. So there's his legs. Trying to get him pushed forward so that, yeah, there we go. And then his arms, of course, have articulation at the shoulders as well as the elbows. No wrist articulation on this guy, but he's got painted nails at least. Both the toenails and the fingernails. Really nice detail overall, just on the sculpt, all this little pebbling, all the little ridges and all that go all the way through the tail. Speaking of the tail, I attached it. It's on that nice little ball joint. It's also got a wire in it that lets you do some little bit more of organic poses that you wouldn't get from hinges that would just add a bunch of seams. So I always kind of like to do like an up and over tail pose myself. Then you have the neck, which have the base joint on the where the body meets the neck, and also where the head meets the neck is on an articulation point up here. So just 2 points of articulation right there in the neck itself, the base and where it meets the head. And then of course on the head, you have the jaw articulation, the bottom jaw as well as the top jaw. I always like when they let you pose both of them, because a roar that's a top roar is even different than a roar that's a bottom roar. And then when you do them both together, it looks extra sort of aggressive too. So I always like being able to independently control them. Love the painted teeth, top and bottom, a gloss shot on the tongue. You can even see gloss on the gums here. So really, really cool. And then it's got the little painted amber eye too, and the painted horn. So just a really solid little figure that poses really well. I mean, I played with it for 1 second and kind of got it to do this sort of like stalking pose, but we play with it here a little bit more, which I have every intention to do. We can do all kinds of poses. One of the ones I wanted to do was the pose on the box where he's looking up, which looks like it's gonna be pretty easy to do. Just gotta work the ankles here. So now he's kind of looking up and looking down. So that's kind of an interesting pose that not a lot of the other figures can do. This sort of like prowling above the grass pose, and then of course he can do. I wonder if I can make him kind of run on 1 foot too, like with his 1 foot back. I mean, that's the cool thing about these figures is they're so solidly built that you can do all that. Yeah, see. So he's like really running back and kicking his foot back, and he poses perfectly. I mean, look at that. That is so cool. But yeah, I mean, this is just a solid little figure. And that's where I want to kind of bring in the comparisons to the basic figures, right? I mean, it wasn't that long ago that Mattel was doing all kinds of Ceratosaurs for its core line, and they actually made one that's almost exactly like this in terms of paint coloration. Way back when actually Fallen Kingdom came out, they came out with this Roarivore Ceratosaurus. Of course, Roarivore meaning that he's got the, well, he used to roar. Probably out of batteries now because I've had him in my closet. Oh, there he goes. He had a little bit of juice left in him. Reminder for me to. He kind of roars. He probably needs a new battery, right? I really should pop those out of here, honestly. That's Ceratosaurus, the Roarivore. He's got the red through his body. He's got the red head. He's got like the tan body with the dark stripes. All that good stuff, right? So he's very similar to this guy. I can even pose them similar even. He's got the painted horn. But you can just see from the paint job alone just how much more like detail you're able to get with Hammond Collection. You can see the face here has like all kinds of detail around the eye and all that. Whereas on this one, it's literally just red. And then there's sort of like a softer, more... I guess it's just more gradated airbrushing on the back of the Hammond Collection version 2. There's not as much red, for one thing, on the Hammond Collection one. It kind of backs off sooner on the torso. But then, like, just the detail on the figure itself. You can see this one's got a pretty fair amount of detail for being a basic figure, but there's just loads more of it on this version. Loads and loads more. It's a little bit finer detailed. Like the feet, look how cool the feet look on the Hammond Collection version. They look really soft features on the Roarivore version. They also look too small on the Roarivore version. They look comically small. And of course, articulation goes without saying. I mean, you got some articulation on this. You have legs that go back and forth and out. Same thing with arms that go back and forth and out. But it really ends there. I mean, the jaw articulation is tied up with the action feature. The tail just rotates. It doesn't really do anything. So there's really just a finite amount of poses that you can do with this basic version, which, you know, I already proved the Hammond Collection one. You can do all kinds of cool stuff. And yeah, I mean, you can just see right there just sort of how one is superior to the other when it comes to Hammond Collection. This Ceratosaurus, this new one just takes the cake. And I mean, it's just, even for all the other Hammond Collection figures, I wasn't going to bring them all on the table. You can see them back there on my shelf. I did bring Grant just to show scale, right? But this one's just probably one of the better designed ones in terms of just the paint on it. Not being too complicated, so there's not a lot of like paint rub opportunities. It's cast in this cream colored plastic and then detailed on top of that. So I know with some of the Baryonyx and Gallimimus there's been some paint issues, but I don't see that being an issue here. And then everything joint wise is really smooth. I know I've had a lot of issues with joints with the Hammond Collection T-Rex, but this Ceratosaurus is smooth, articulating, firm where it needs to be, loose where it doesn't need to be, versus kind of floppy like some of the joints on the T-Rex. And yeah, I mean, it just poses really, really well. I could sit here all day and show you just all the different poses I can get this thing to do. I'm going to do like a look at that. That's a sort of like a bent down roaring pose, and you can use the hands for brace it if you want, but right now it's not even being braced with its hands. It's just balanced that well here, that it doesn't. Oh, now he's kind of falling forward, but if I push his one leg back, so that is just excellent balance that this thing has, without even like having oversized feet or anything, which is, I know, something a lot of people complain with Mattel, is oversized feet, but this guy doesn't even need it to hold a pose. He just holds the pose really, really well, despite being kind of a medium oversized carnivore. I love the way his top teeth fold over the bottom jaw too. That's a nice touch, and man, yeah, just really smooth, really smooth. This is a cool one. I might have to open another one of these. I was planning on just opening one, but for a lot of my Hammond Collection figures, I've opened I've opened 3 Triceratopses at this point. So I'm not against having herds when the toy is perfect enough, and this one is pretty dang perfect. I mean, this is just a really cool figure. I love the I just love the face. I love the posability of it. So another really solid Hammond Collection release from Mattel, the Ceratosaurus. Now let's see them do a Carnotaurus, right? One more time. There's Grant next to it, so you can see that it's a pretty big figure, all said and done. So, but yeah, that's the Hammond Collection Ceratosaurus and all of its glory. Hope you enjoyed this review. Again, I'm Tim with Collect Jurassic. I think that's all I got. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.